to the last.
You are very lucky I did not cut back like half a second earlier.
That's my job. It's what I do.
Everybody, welcome to From Our Mother's Basement, the show that basically celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael, and I am big-headed today. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
There. See if
It's
that's
all good.
There we go.
It's been an interesting week. Just a bunch of stuff going on. A bunch of new movies have released, a bunch of cool trailers. You have the South by Southwest going on.
A lot of video game stuff too.
A lot of video game stuff. A few choice anime and manga bits.
Yes, I'm really happy for the manga bit.
Yes, I'm very sure of that. But you know what? Let's start off as always with the music stuff, movie stuff, I should say, not music. I have music on my mind right now. Let's talk about what else. It's gonna tick off our weekly Disney and Star Wars news.
Well, yes, it is.
Yes, in a recent interview, George Lucas, inadvertently or not, let it slip that, basically confirm what we already knew, that there's already in talks of bringing some of the original cast of Star Wars to come back for Episode 7, namely Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher.
Yep. I think Peter Mayhew's still alive, too.
And this is the
So
best
bring
picture I
Chewie
can
back.
find of them.
Jeez. Man, now I gotta go find that other picture, because it was funny.
Yeah, in the...
All I have to say to this is, called it.
Yeah. And I'll admit, at the beginning, when all these news, when it was initially just a rumor coming out, I was like, no, there's no way. They're too old. There's only a finite amount of Vaseline in the world that could help Carrie Fisher. I mean...
Yes, and then they released Who is Benjamin Button.
Yes, true. And it's just like, wait. But yeah, so... Apparently, there's going to be some major announcement by Disney sometime in the near future. But that being said, now that we know that we've basically confirmed that, yes, all three are going to be back, that kind of shrinks down the possible storylines that they can go through compared to what's been already released in book form, in comics and whatnot. I mean, what's your thoughts, Michael? What do you think they could possibly
that's what kind of bugs me. You've got, the whole thing that they basically retconned all the books.
True.
There's some damn good fiction in those books.
Yeah.
I mean, putting aside the whole Star Wars geekery, there is some seriously well-written books. And they're just going to throw that all away. And it's just like, yeah, hopefully they'll reconsider.
I'm hoping that, with Episode 7, obviously they're, like you said, they're not going to use any of the already set out storylines verbatim, but I'm hoping they pick and choose from some of the better ones.
Well, yeah, and I don't, I'd like to think that even if they do completely diverge, let's be honest, they're going to at least break even. They're going to make back in the first weekend what they've invested.
Yes. Now,
whether or not it goes on to be stellar beyond that depends on whether or not, what they do with the storyline. Episode 1 made money.
Yeah. As much as it was bashed by, the fan base, yeah, it still made a decent amount of money. I'm kind of glad that they ceased work on re-releasing the entire, all 6 movies in 3D.
God. Yeah, that was a dumb idea.
I think that's one of the last ideas that George Lucas had. But with more of these bits of information coming out about Episode 7, it kind of seems that we all thought initially George Lucas was just going to be an advisor to the story and to selection of cast and crew and whatnot. I'm starting to wonder if he has a little more deeper involvement than initially thought.
Well, okay, it is his world originally, and they're.
Did you freeze? You froze. No, there's.
A lot of his buyout was done in stock.
True.
That gives him a fair amount of power. Because they gave him how many? It was like, what was it? Something like 6 or 7 billion.
$4.05 billion, which he gave most of that to charity for education. I give him massive props
Right,
for that.
and 2/3 of it is his retirement plan.
Yeah,
Well, 2/3 of 4.7 billion gives you a good chunk of control over Disney if you do it right.
true.
So,
I'm just waiting for all of a sudden the pic of George Lucas, holding J.J. Abrams over his lap and going, "This is my movie, bitch." No,
I don't think that's going to happen.
no, it won't. But hey,
It would be funny.
the internet is vast and infinite. Who knows who can make anything?
That's true. That is true.
Okay, well, that's enough for Disney and Star Wars for one episode. Let's jump to the other sci-fi fandom. Let's go to Star Trek. And start,
Okay.
kind of ties in with J.J. Abrams because he's now directing both franchises, which is
A mixed bag of goods. I think it could be awesome.
I was going to say unheard of. So, because usually in something like this, even the directors themselves will say, that is a cool option, but I'm a director of these other movies. I can't really jump ship to the other one. JJ's got greedy and said, screw it, I'm doing all of them.
Realistically, though, let's be honest. If you were a really good director and a fan of both genres, wouldn't you do it?
True. But
If I was a director, I mean, if I had that opportunity, hell yeah. I mean, that's
okay.
that's every nerd kid's fantasy come true. Because I like Abrams was one of the few people who, as a kid, I didn't pick a side between Star Trek and Star Wars. I loved them both. I was a little partial towards Star Wars, but I loved them both. So yeah, can you blame him?
well, I mean, on that point, I agree with you. But I look at the other side of, okay, I've already done either good or bad with one huge franchise. Do I want to deal with the stress of trying to duplicate that kind of success with another franchise? Do I want to be safe? I guess with JJ, he just wants to keep on going forward. So that's the way I look at it.
If he's got good writers and he's got a good team, it'll be a good movie.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead.
That's how I view it.
Okay. Well, at that point, let's go ahead and just play the brand new trailer. It was just released just a couple days ago.
For Star Trek.
For Star Trek Into Darkness. I still laugh at the fact
If
that...
it's that choppy in the movie theater, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that's a problem. My bad. My apologies. I love the bit near the end of... I guess you couldn't see it because the stills, but... Kirk and Spock are going down a little cavern, and it's starting to slowly close up.
Talking about won't fit. Is that what the won't fit was about?
It won't fit. It'll fit. It will fit. It won't fit. And I'm like, it's good, but I in those type of situations, I kind of prefer. There was a scene in, I think it was in Serenity, or one of the episodes from Firefly, where you have Wash and the captain going back and forth, the same thing, but instead of it'll fit.
Oh god, we're gonna die.
No, they go, it's closing in, and and the captain's going no, and Wash is going yes. I prefer that a little more, but it's still got the idea across. But while I fix this information real quick, Michael, what's your thoughts around with Benedict Cumberbatch's John Hammond, as they like to call it? We all know it's basically Khan.
Well, we don't know that. That's the thing. I mean, is he part of the Khan storyline? If so, are they just going to skip Space Seed entirely?
Maybe yes, no.
You
gotta remember,
that's
they already
a point where I'm
cleared
getting nervous because they've established it as an alternate universe, but it's only an alternate universe from the point Spock comes back, which is after the time the Botany Bay was launched. So Ricardo Montalban's already out there flying around, floating in space, in his buff-ass self. So, it's going to be a fun movie. I'm going to enjoy it, but I don't think they're going to make him Khan. I don't think they're going to make Cumberbatch Khan.
I think they're going to. Here's the thing. they already made it blatantly clear in the first movie. This is an alternate universe. J.J. Abrams has carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wants.
Virtually. It's only carte blanche from the point Spock came back. Botany Bay, in the timeline of the Star Trek universe, and here's my uber nerdness showing, the Botany Bay was launched in 2130, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
So 200 years before.
I'm going to say this, though.
It's going to be awesome, regardless.
It'll be awesome regardless. I mean, the guy's a fantastic actor anyway, so he'll make that.
I love Cumberbatch. He's awesome.
I put him in the same level in terms of like Alan Rickman. Kind of the person
he's a young Alan Rickman.
He's a very young Alan. He doesn't
have the seasoning and breadth of experience Rickman has.
But that's just a matter of time.
I was gonna say he'll get it though.
Yeah, exactly.
If anyone's gonna get it, it's gonna be him.
I mean, I could see him doing a similar little video
thinks it was 1990. Let me verify that because I thought it was further on than that. I'm gonna go look that crap up. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
Nerd War,
because I could see Cumberbatch doing the same thing that Alan Rickman did last year, which was this little short video that was the scene itself took all of maybe 10 seconds, but it was shot I think 120 frames a second. Then they slowed it down, and just the scene of him brewing tea and then incident happened.
That was an impressive piece.
I could see Cumberbatch doing that in a few years and having almost that same level of.
Night Star, you're right. It was we're both wrong, but you were closer. 1996 was when it was supposedly launched in the Trek universe.
Yay! Okay. I'm the
You're
back
more
of,
subtle.
No. In the back of my mind, I'm like, is he right? I couldn't remember for the life of me. Oh well.
1996. It says.
Gotcha. Okay. What should we move on to? Let's talk about Joss Whedon. Why not?
Sure.
Let's talk about another director that has a massive franchise under their belt now.
So they escaped from the Spice Girls. I don't know. You're the one trying to reunite them, dude. Anyway.
At his recent South by Southwest panel, Joss Whedon confirmed what we've been clear for some time now. Agent Coulson is very much alive in the world of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is set after the Avengers. How is this possible? All he said was, I'll tell you guys, Heimlich. So we have no idea whether or not his death in the Avengers was faked, or was he coming back as the Vision, or...
No. The Vision, that's a whole separate rumor mill. Vision, because the rumor is that the Vision is going to be the next lesser-known superhero to show up. Mm-hmm. Whether he's going to be part of Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy is what's up in the air. All I know is if they're doing Guardians of the Galaxy, I can't wait for Rocket Raccoon. Because Rocket Raccoon is badass. But that aside,
I'm hoping they're going to actually do that series justice in that movie.
I hope so too. Now that because I've just started reading it. It's actually really good.
Nice.
But no, there was a thing that Vin Diesel tweeted out a picture on his or posted a picture on his Facebook thing, mm-hmm. showing talking about the Vision, and all the fans took it and ran with it as thinking that he had been cast as Vision. Another rumor mill that kind of sort of sprung off of that is yeah, Vision's coming back, but that's how they're going to bring Coulson back because Vision's an android, blah, 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 blah. And one fan went so far, if you can find it, I don't know where it is, but one fan went so far as to go into ZBrush and sculpt a head and bust of Coulson as Vision. And it looks badass.
Gotta love the fandom when it comes to this type of stuff.
You get a bunch of CG geeks in there? Oh, yeah. I'm going to go find that picture.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to talk about what Joss Whedon has been working on since directing the Avengers. You normally think he would just sit there and go, okay.
Oh, my bad. It was a physical sculpture.
Oh, even better. You'll have to send me the picture later so I can post it. But, after working on Avengers, you think he would take some time off to relax with his untold millions of dollars before he starts working on Avengers 2 and all the other movies and the Shield TV show and whatnot. No,
Mm-hmm.
he decided to gather all of his best friends together and then shoot a low-budget, black and white modern rendition of a William Shakespeare comedy.
You know, it worked. Well, not comedy, but it worked for. There you go. Those are the two images.
Okay.
The second one's in color. If you want to, that one looks really awesome, and it was a physical sculpture, not ZBrush. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it worked for Leo DiCaprio.
You know what? That was a movie that...
the version of Hamlet that was done with not Batman. Who's the other guy who did it?
Obviously, Tim Burton does does
No,
Hamlet.
no, no, no,
Holy
no, no,
crap.
no, 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 wrong Batman. Wrong Batman.
You talking about an
He's
actor?
done a lot of stuff. He was in Gattaca.
Oh, I couldn't remember.
Either way, there was a modern version of Hamlet done that way. That was actually really good.
I probably don't remember it.
All the original dialogue, they didn't change, and that's what I hope they do. I mean, if they do it, I hope they do it like the William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
They do.
Where it's all modern with the original dialogue and don't even change the dialogue.
They do. And in reading interviews about the cast who's in this movie, and watching this trailer we're about to watch again,
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that you get this incredible cast. You have Nathan Fillion of Firefly and
Nice.
and Castle and whatnot. You have Clark Gregg, Agent Coulson from the Avengers is in this as well. Reed Diamond from Dollhouse is in this. Sean Mayer from Firefly is also in this as well. I mean, you have a number of great people.
Is Gina Torres in it?
I think so. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I hope so.
But they all went in and basically not only just like owned the lines, but basically without changing the actual dialogue, just by changing the tone and the way they presented it, it worked so well. Unlike, I will say in some scenes like Romeo and Juliet, the Leo DiCaprio version, that it
Which was surprisingly good.
At certain scenes it was good. I'll agree with you with that. But there were other scenes where it just sounded fake. Like, it was almost like redubbed with the original dialogue popped in. It didn't seem that it would sync at certain times for me, just for me. That's all I'm saying. But in this trailer...
Let's watch the trailer for the current one.
Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Give me a second.
The vision's interrupting.
The vision's interrupting.
Dude, you really need to show that picture. It's awesome.
I will. There. Let me just fix this real quick.
As we geek out.
Of course we always geek out. All right.
It's our job.
Let's play this, hopefully.
Much ado about Keanu Reeves. I saw the one with Keanu Reeves, actually. That actually wasn't that bad. It was, although it wasn't so much about Keanu as it was about Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson. That was, dude, have you seen that version?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great rendition of that show.
All right.
And
I think it's...
Michael Keaton was hilarious in it, too.
True. Yes.
Holy shit! It's Fred and I forget the character's name, but those two were the couple in sort of the couple in Angel.
Amy Acker and Alexis Denisov.
Yeah, good to see those two. Well, I think they're married in real life.
I have no idea, but they would be good as well anyway. So.
Oh no! Just seeing those two getting back together again, that chemistry is great.
Mm-hmm. And if anything Joss Whedon is good at, it's putting two people in a room and letting the dialogue be the focus. And it just makes it so well.
Allison Hannigan, thank you. I knew he was married to one of the co-stars.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out sometime this year. I'm sorry, in June, actually. Let me check.
Well, it looks like it's complete if it's already at the Toronto Film Festival.
Opens in U.S. theaters June 7th of this year.
Ooh, I will see that. That's
considering
awesome.
This entire thing was actually shot in in Joss Whedon's home in Santa Monica, it's like, well, he saved a lot on location price.
When it comes to low budget pieces that kick ass, Whedon's really good at that.
Yes,
he's really. I mean, look at what he did with Dr. Horrible Sing Along blog.
Which rumor is from him Part 2 should be filming later this year, which again could be either good or bad if he continues with
I
the
don't
low
know. Neil
budget.
Patrick Harris versus Nathan Fillion again should be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's always gonna be fun
Especially
with
if
those two.
Captain Hammer is still as dumb as a sack of them.
He found a new girlfriend, and then
Yes, and yes, they had sex.
and it turned into a robot. My question is, who's gonna die this time?
Bad Horse.
Bad Horse.
They'll kill off Bad Horse.
And thus the UK got their problem with their horse meat and their.
Ooh. Ouch. Oh, man.
Oh, I've
That's
been reading
bad.
some funny stuff about that. I love the fact that I think it was in
The hammer is
northern
the penis.
in in Northern Ireland. Of course, they were
Mhm.
checking everything for horse meat. They checked a bunch of major manufacturers' meat pies. Well, they confirmed that there's no horse meat in their meat pies.
What did
In
they
fact,
find
they confirmed
instead?
there was no meat whatsoever in their meat pies.
No wonder UK food tastes so freaking bland. Excuse me.
Gotta love it.
Oh, that's funny. What's funny is I went to IKEA the other week, and they had on their billboards, our because they were still serving the meatballs, and they had this big, like, 8-inch round sticker that said, "Our meatballs come from a U.S. manufacturer. They're made with strictly beef and pork." The word horse is nowhere on the sticker.
My question is, all these people, with IKEA, because they already had this big old hoopla about that as well, saying, okay, there's no horse meat in our meatballs. Well, that's the last time I take my family to go get food at a department store. It's
The
like,
meatballs are so good. Their meatballs are yummy.
the lingonberries
Although
are good. I'll give it that.
those pastry things, oh man, those are addicting as all hell. I'll show you one later. They're marzipan, chocolate dipped ends
Okay.
with a chocolate center, and it tastes, oh god, so good.
All right. Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving
So that
on.
calls-
Well, before we do that, I show that picture that you actually sent me, and
Yes.
that is an impressive sculpt, if I have to say so myself.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, holy moly. That's someone's
And the
version of
fact
what,
that someone did that with their hands, not just in a computer program.
and put glass eyes in it. I mean, they went all out on this thing. Because if you look, it's textured. It's
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Hey, I'll be very happy if that becomes a reality, but we'll
I
see.
mean, it'd be better than Vin. And don't get me wrong, I like Vin Diesel movies as much as the next guy. If I want to see my hot rods and stuff, but not as the Vision.
Coming next, Fast and the Furious 12. Eventually they're
Yeah.
going to get to that point. I mean, they're already working on, they're already working
I'll
on
say there's
7.
another one coming out.
Yeah, they're working on 7. We've talked about this before. Yeah, I figure as long as there are fans of the franchise and they can milk that for all it's worth, there's going to be a continuation. It's kind of like the Saw franchise.
Oh, poor Sega fan. And what do they use to make their hot dogs? Gee, thanks, Dr. Mumpy.
It'll be up on YouTube. I apologize.
Oh,
Okay. Should we get to the last trailer that was recently released?
sure.
We're talking about Iron Man 3. And you haven't seen this yet, have you, Michael?
No, I have not seen this one.
Because you thought
'cause
it
I
was...
saw somebody talking about it, and I'm like, oh, and somebody posted a link, and it went straight to the Super Bowl one. And I'm like,
the extended
this is
commercial
what they
of-
ran at the Super Bowl. Yeah. That was creepy. Don't ever do that again.
Why? Don't you like my eyes?
You just remind me of Mike McShanks from the British Who's Line.
Yes. All right, but this new one, to some people, actually feels like they gave away too much of the plot. And that may be so, but it's still a badass trailer. I'm just hoping that... Go ahead.
No, it's what trailers do these days.
I'm just hoping that they show a lot of cool stuff in this trailer.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that there's more than just what's in the trailer that's going to be in the movie. Because sometimes they give the best
Otherwise, it's
parts
gonna be
away
a
in the
real damn short movie.
Exactly.
If I pay $20 for a 10-minute movie, I'm gonna be pissed.
All right, let's go ahead and check this out. This is the latest trailer for Iron Man 3.
Okay, now I see what they were referring to with the Iron Legion.
Hmm.
Wow.
He makes his own army of Iron Man drones. Each have their own individual, unique
Function?
trait and function. It was kind of curious to see a lot of people were calling it as the Hulkbuster Iron Man outfit at the end, busting through
That would
the,
make sense,
the
though. I mean,
crate.
I think there's a point in the comic where he does build Hulkbuster armor
Yeah, that
in case he ever has to take on the Hulk.
which in the comics he did. We're getting way beyond the Guardians of the Galaxy arc now, but yes, because there's eventually in the future if they go down this path, yes, Hulk is basically transported to his own planet, um, and long story
Takes
short,
over.
he takes over as basically king, and then amasses a huge army to come back to Earth to take revenge on his exile. So, so
Yeah.
yeah,
And
so
guess who he's after first? Reed Richards.
good times.
Yep. Good.
Again, it does everything that a trailer should. Lots of explosions, gets you hyped up for it. But I'm hoping.
Iron Continental Ballistic Men, ICBMs. Nice. Nice. Well phrased. Richards has always been a dick. Yes.
This
Yes,
is
he
true.
has.
This is very true.
And
Okay.
He's got Sue Storm. So,
Right. Okay. Shall we move on to what's going on currently in Texas?
Do we have to?
Yes, because it's cool.
All right. Then let's talk about Texas.
Not a fan of South by Southwest.
I'm kind of burned on it, honestly.
Really? Okay.
But go ahead.
For those of you who don't know, South by Southwest is a huge event it takes place, I think, over like 2 weeks in Austin, Texas. Initially, it was a giant indie film festival. Then it expanded out to music, and now they're venting forth into either new media and also interactive events. So not
Tech
only is it
games and stuff.
yeah, so it used to be the place to actually release your app. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's also where like Foursquare actually first was launched and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it was. Yeah, I think Foursquare was. And there's also, but it used to be a mecca for indie films, and I mean, it was like the American version of Cannes
mhm.
for a while there.
Uh,
Um,
and
and then go ahead.
I was saying, more recently, it got into music, and especially the indie music scene.
Yeah,
So you would have all these stages, and they have just huge lineups of bands that are apparently pretty good, but you've never heard of them before. It's always a nice way to
indie scene.
learn. Yeah.
It was hipster heaven.
Hipster heaven. But I find it nice that for those of us who couldn't make it to South by Southwest because money, time, plane tickets, all that jazz,
Mhm.
to figure out these new bands, if you never heard of them, how are you going to be able to listen to them? Well, apparently there is someone decided to put together a torrent of all the performing artists from this year, all the indie bands. It's a legit torrent. It's also quite big, at 7.39 gigs.
And how many of your 6 warnings will you get for getting it?
All of them. Yeah, all in total is 1,210 tracks over, a
Wow.
bunch of performing artists. But yeah, apparently, from everything I've been reading about this is, one, a legit torrent. 2, it won't bash you against the 6 strikes law because it's not illegal. Now, if anybody
Ethan
tries...
Hawke.
What's up?
Sorry, Hamlet. Ethan Hawke.
Ah, okay.
Thank you, Shadar.
So you can find, if you go, just search for South by Southwest or SXX or SXSW.
SXSW.
Yeah. And just search for Music Torrent. You can find it. It's in 2 parts. I already downloaded part 1.
Huge.
Yeah, I already downloaded part 1. I'll probably download part 2 after tonight's show.
And you're gonna put that on a hard drive and bring it up, right?
Probably. I'll weed through it, and if I find some good stuff, I'll put it on a drive and send it up to you.
Cool. Especially if there's any good electronic in there.
Yeah, 1,200 tracks, all DRM free. Thank you. Is
Is it at the good sample rate?
Everything I've seen so far is at least 320 MP3.
Nice.
There's a couple FLAC, a couple OGs. I'm like, thank you.
Nice.
So
FLAC is good.
FLAC is good. So I haven't gone through all of it yet. Once I download the other half, I'll go through it and I'll let you know, Michael.
Sounds good. I appreciate that.
Okay. Aside from, like we talked about with movies and music and whatnot, the whole interactive bit is kind of more of one of the newer features of South by Southwest, and Google's jumping into this with their new art project, which they're calling Art Copy Code. And the first thing in this art gallery thing that they're presenting is, well, it kind of ties in the fact they're working on wearable computers, Google Glasses. This one is designed around a different piece of clothing. Not just we're talking about your shoes, and
if your feet are stanky, your shoes can let you know.
I just got to play this video just because it's just one of those. I'm like, really? Okay, well, here, let's play it.
Share the pain. Wow. I'm impressed it's got an altimeter because it said liftoff, but you want to see how fast I throw a pair of shoes onto a bonfire?
Yeah, so basically the shoe has an accelerometer, a gyroscope, Bluetooth to gather data, and to quote-unquote generate witty comments to either speak out loud using its, the built-in speaker on the right shoe, or post it to your Google Plus page.
God. Guess who's being a fat bastard? Guess who's being a mouse potato? Guess who's not eating properly? That's right. No, I don't need my shoe to rat me out. I know I'm lazy. The world doesn't need to know that.
Well, there's good news for you with this. This is not going to be an official product.
Does the shoe play soul music? Oh, that's bad.
But yeah, it's just an art project, part of their exhibit.
Help, I'm being stolen.
So yeah, it's not going to be
saying white men can't jump. It's just no.
Try to play basketball. It posts. Why are you even trying?
We can see why you never made it in sports. Because mine would be snarky and evil to me. I know. Oh yeah,
if this actually was a legit product, I would find a way to, say if you got a pair and say a bunch of other friends got, pairs for whatever reason, I would want to find a way to be able to insert my own comments via the shoe that either will play via the speaker.
He's at it again. Get thee to a penitentiary. Or punnery. I'm afraid I can't let you run there, Dave. Oh, that's it. If it ties into Bluetooth, it'll tie into your map thing. Going, you do realize that you are not nearly tan enough for this neighborhood.
Here, I helped you. I synced with your Google Glass to take you to a tanning salon.
Oh, this thing, we can just get so politically incorrect.
Oh, that's the best part about these kind of things. Again, it's not going to be an actual product, but if it was, I could think of so many evil things I could do with that. Because not only have it like post stuff on,
Not evil things you could do, evil things you would do. Let's be honest, Jason.
Okay, yes. Because I'm not really all that interested in for the shoe to post stuff on someone's Google Plus page. I'm interested in being able to send via Bluetooth certain audio files to the speaker that's in the right shoe.
Are you going to have the only shoes that have an orgasm when you're running a marathon?
Hey, it'll cause everyone else to stop and question, and I'll win. There's strategy in this, goddammit.
10 seconds. My user's an asshole. Would like to be a semi-used pair of shoes. Oh, okay. Let's move on.
I know. Beyond shoes, we can start talking about belts and shirts and dresses, and be like, yeah.
What I'm really waiting for, honestly, out of all of that, is a realistic. I mean, we've got the start of it with the ELP stuff, but which is electroluminescent polymer for those who don't know, or plastic, whichever you want to call it. Is I want to see OLED technology get to the point where you could have a computer in your jacket, and you wouldn't know until it lit up. I mean, it would look just like a normal jacket until suddenly it lit up and you were doing stuff on it. That's what I want. I'm waiting for that because that'll be awesome.
It also kind of ties in with what Nightstar was saying about jacket drying. If you remember from Back to the Future Part 2, what all the new clothes could do.
Uh-huh.
Jacket drying. Could not pay dry cleaner's bill. Douchebag. Douchebag.
You dare spill cheap red wine on me? No class. No class. No class.
All
Okay,
right,
let's move
move
on.
forward. Let's one more thing about South by Southwest, which also ties into anime, manga, and video games. There is a studio called Krypton. You might have heard about it.
Oh,
I know
yes,
Michael has.
I know. I've met the owner of Krypton.
Yes, actually, I interviewed the owner of Krypton. So yes, good man,
Yes.
very good man.
Yes.
They hosted a panel this week at South by Southwest Interactive. They were there last year introducing the world of Hatsune Miku and Vocaloid to the States, and a lot of people were very interested in it at the time. But they made no announcement to if it's going to bring away stateside or an English patch or anything like that. Well, during this press conference, they made the announcement they are going to release in this year, in the summer, the long-awaited English version of the Vocaloid software. We will finally have a legit copy of Vocaloid.
I have legit copies.
I know
just
you
in
have legit
Japanese.
copies. Exactly. And while you and I are both, learning Japanese, we can't really use it completely
Not
efficiently
yet. No.
But
Yeah, I'd like to have
this
the
would be
instructions for the software in English. That would be nice.
nice. Yes. So they're actually going to release a legit copy in English stateside this summer.
It's about damn time.
Yeah. Now here's the question though: how much?
If it's anything like the Japanese cost, I mean, the initial Miku set was $100.
I could see them charging $100.
No,
for
wait,
that.
Miku was 120. Luca was 150 because she came with an English voice pack as well.
Okay.
Because the actress they used for it can speak English.
Yeah, it's Yu Asakawa.
Yeah. So that one costs a little more, but I'm figuring it'll probably be around the $100 mark.
That's about right. I would say, I'd be, if I had the money, I'd be willing to pay $100 for Vocaloid software.
If I have the money to spare, I will do it, but
Okay, well, let's jump into kind of tying into anime and manga and whatnot. Let's talk about, real quick, a manga that Michael is really, really happy that's making a return.
about damn time.
Like, I'll just show this this picture right here. Yes, High School of the Dead, Act 30, starting
Nice.
April 9th. We finally have...
They finally have a date.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
he already announced, I rephrase that. In the color versions of the manga that were re-released earlier this year, they made the announcement the series was coming back. Now we have a final date. We know it's called High School of the Dead Apocalypse. So,
Well, it would be apocalypse
when's
if they
the
detonated a nuke.
announcement? No, true, very true. Now, when's the announcement of the anime?
And the question also becomes: are they going to go back to Madhouse for it?
Good question.
Well, Madhouse has had a shakeup recently, so
Mhm.
to the point where I don't know anybody who works there anymore.
Okay.
The last guy I knew who worked there left.
Which makes you wonder then, who could actually pick it up then? Because, like you're saying,
I don't know. I mean, if they still got their original, if they still have any of the original artists, I think Madhouse could do it really good. But hang on, explain the Mad. Oh, somebody wants me to explain the Mad. Depends. Who's OtakuLife 12? Anyway, I don't know the gory details of what's going on with Madhouse. I just know that there's a lot of people. I used to know multiple people who work there. Now I know nobody who works there. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many people migrated.
Sadly, a number of people that I know in the industry have either moved to different companies or have dropped off the radar. I'm like, all my contacts in Japan are drying up. What the hell?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of them are doing that, but there's a big shuffle going on in the industry right now, and it's going to be interesting. But how long to answer? Go back to the original question. Long story short, too late. I don't know. I think if they're that's the serial release, right? That's not the actual bounds, right?
Yes, the serial release.
Okay, so you figure it's going into serial release. They're going to run that for at least 6 months to get enough fodder, 6 months to a year to get enough fodder for an episode.
True.
So next year, maybe?
Yeah, I could see that. And if anything, they can always go down the OVA route.
Which they may.
I think that actually makes a little more sense.
Well, yeah, then we don't get rid of the conveniently placed Steam. Um,
Oh, we could talk
no
about
more
a whole
Steam
episode on
censorship.
that crap.
Oh yeah, that's for a different show.
Yes.
Um, a different show from FMMB. Anyway,
One that possibly is
I'm
on
just glad
Wednesdays.
it's coming back. I really am because it's yeah, people refer to it as Opie of the Dead, which it
It is.
deserves. It deserves that title. But it's actually a fun show. It really is.
Okay.
And that one fell flat. Moving right along.
All right. Well,
And moving on to Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen.
yeah. Yeah, let's talk about this. Those
Hang
of you
on.
who
Night
may
Star, yes, there is the island story for HOTD, but that was kind of like a one-off OVA wrap-up that was only released with the Blu-ray set.
Mhm.
It's if you bought the Blu-ray season set that you got it.
That's about it. Okay.
You will not get a full hentai out of high school out of HOTD because they deliberately, in a panel they did at Expo when we had the creators over, they said flat out when they set out to do this anime, they wanted 50% boobs, 50% guns.
And they
That
did
was their
that.
goal, and that's what they drew.
Yes. It worked well. Well, let's see what happens with the second season. But moving on to, like Michael said, how mighty have fallen. Those of you who've been anime fans for a while might remember a company called Media Blasters. They used to release actually
There was just a lot of old school stuff.
yeah, a lot of good stuff I enjoyed.
Yeah, a lot of really good stuff over the years.
They focused heavily for quite a long time on VHS. Weren't they one of the later companies to move to DVD? Can't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, if you haven't heard much from them lately, is because, well, due to the industry the way it is, they haven't been doing all that well. And the CEO, John Cirabella, posted a message last Friday on the official Media Blasters website, basically giving a state of the company. And it's not good. Right off the bat, they announced they lost the rights to several.
Some of their bigger titles.
Yeah. Bakuman, Berserk, Roni Kenshin.
That one's gonna hurt.
Oh, especially the fact that there's going to be a renewed push for Kenshin on
Anime?
on DVD because of the movie,
The live action,
which
yeah.
is fantastic.
Which I figure either Sentai or Funny's gonna go after that. Actually, Viz has a very large live action arm right now.
Quite possible. I mean, they have their
So
new people
Viz may
branch as
go
well.
after it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they also acquired rights to other series like Morashima and Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei, but they haven't made any announcements regarding DVD releases. The other thing is they're not going to push any Blu-rays for their current titles. They quoted that just for a number of reasons regarding the format and what it costs to produce them, they're going to stick with just DVD for the time being. So,
Which, if you're doing an older title,
you don't need to have
realistically,
Blu-ray.
yeah. I mean, if you're doing something like Megazone or something that was never on film and was pre the HD age, DVD is about as good as, I mean, boosting it up to Blu-ray, unless you go back and rescan every cell, good luck finding them. That were. I mean, you don't need to. A DVD, honestly, is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, having, say, Super Dimension Fortress Macross on Blu-ray isn't going to really look any different than if it was on DVD.
That one I will argue, because that one was actually on film.
Was that one on film?
That one was actually shot to film.
Okay, I
So they could go back and rescan the film on that.
They could. Then again, money. So we'll see what happens with it. I mean, they're going to focus also on one of their sub-labels called Kitty Media. You can imagine what that's all about.
Oh yes, Kitty. Yes, because that's the only division of them that's making any money right now.
Exactly. So they're going to release some anime titles, some live-action titles you probably never heard of, but the majority of their small amount of money that they actually get is still just going to be through Kitty. So.
Mm-hmm. If it's enough to keep them alive, you know.
Oh, I just read the article. There's an update. They had the rights to release Squid Girl.
Ikamusume?
Yes. I think they had a deal to release season 1. They made an update on their Facebook page announcing that they're not going to release season 2 of Ikamusume. So it's like, okay, Funimation, pick this damn thing up and release this already. Come on. So, yeah. Media blasters. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Then again, we said the same thing about ADV. But then, on that note, ADV didn't really leave. They just dissolved into 4 smaller companies who work exclusively together. So that's that.
Well, the thing is, with ADV though, there's rumors going through the industry, that ADV, the former people, because all the people who left ADV went and formed Sentai. Now they're trying to reacquire ADV.
Yeah, it was Sentai Filmworks and Section 23.
Yeah, Section 23 Films.
Mm-hmm.
They're all of the folks who used to be ADV,
mm-hmm.
and now they're trying to reacquire. Rumor last I heard was that they're attempting to reacquire and partially resurrect ADV.
I would be all for that if it still if it goes back to
if they maintain the quality they used to have.
Exactly. They were, even when like Funimation was just getting off the ground. I mean, ADV was like the primo company.
Oh yeah. I went out of my way to get ADV titles because they grabbed the good shit.
They grabbed the good shit. They packaged them well. They took care of the fans. They had huge ass booths that they teamed up with Best Buy to.
And then they started grabbing all the bad WB sci-fi series. Although they did get Farscape, which was good. Farscape was good.
True.
Wasn't that impressed with Andromeda.
OtakuLife 12 says instead, let's not forget Geneon, because they were great back in the day. They had some fantastic titles, but their failure was more of on the back end with the business side, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing with Geneon was Pioneer. Pioneer decided, no, we just want to focus on our electronics. We don't want to mess with any of the video stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started losing some of their power, but they've been smart. They've held on to all their rights, technically.
True.
Except in specific instances. They don't have a US branch anymore. But Geneon is now Geneon Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Universal owns everything Geneon, Universal Japan anyway. So, but they still have all the rights to their stuff in Japan. In the US, they've released a lot of their rights and their titles to Funimation, which helped give Funimation a lot of pull.
That it did. And for those of you who think that if a Japanese company announces a U.S. branch, that does not necessarily mean that every title that said company makes, the U.S. side is going to automatically get it. Case in point, after this show, if you haven't listened to it yet, head over to Anime News Network for their ANN cast. Not the latest one, but the one previous. They had Robert Napton, formerly of Bandai Entertainment. The US
I know Bob.
branch. Yeah. And they talked for almost 2 hours about basically the demise of Bandai Entertainment. So it's a really good listen. I highly recommend it. Okay. Let's wrap up these last 3 fairly quickly. So, by a show of hands, who of you have ordered SimCity? Well, the more the point is, for those of you who have ordered it, how many of you have been able to play it?
Log into it. Yeah.
Oh, EA, you failed so goddamn hard on this. I mean, I remember playing the beta. The beta was amazing. It brought me back to, the days where I would play SimCity 2000 for days on end. And then,
I want to build up cities just to unleash cheesy rubber monsters.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of it's almost the same mentality of where if you've ever played The Sims. I remember playing the demo of the original one where I would get a bunch of people in a room, take out the windows and doors, and light a fire in there. And
Wow, you went way darker than I did.
well,
Oh
there's also
man.
things like you throw them in the pool, and then you pull out the ladder, and they can't get out. So
Oh
they
yeah, I watch people, and also little tombstones start popping up. I've seen people build cemeteries that way.
I mean, just
Then you
stuff
make
like
phone
that.
slaves.
I mean,
I've
there's
heard all
these.
sorts of things you can do with Sims.
Oh yes, and similarly, there was a lot of stuff you can do in Sim City back in the day. It was great stuff, and
Mhm.
they seem to capture the same essence for this version. And
Except,
they decided to throw in an always online DRM.
all right, a dial home DRM. Yeah,
I mean, I guess yes, it's their way of their old way of trying to say this is how we're going to combat piracy.
I think they're trying to copy BattleNet. They're trying to get a cross between BattleNet and Steam, and they're failing
Yeah.
because BattleNet grew very slowly. BattleNet's been around since Diablo 2, technically,
Mm-hmm.
and they've slowly ramped it up over the years. And Blizzard learned as you go, you support your people, you support your tech, you support what you're going on. Valve, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
EA, oh, we're just going to flip a switch.
Yeah. And it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, well,
People-
any major launch of any major product is still kind of bad. Yes, the D3 launch did have issues, as Isaac
It
points
did.
out in the chat room.
Mhm.
But then again, any major game launch has that.
Yes.
Blizzard usually does better than most. I mean,
Because they learn from their mistakes.
well, they try to.
So, okay, true.
They just consistently underestimate demand.
Right.
That's what keeps biting Blizzard.
But things like with this one, no one can get on because their servers were slammed nowhere near the level of what they were expecting. So over the next couple of days, not only did they increase their server capacity by 120% to try to help lighten the load, they started doing like daily, if not multi-updates in a single day. And they started cutting actually features from the game, like the ability to move the time to cheetah mode. People are wondering, why can't you just make this offline? Why can't you make this work? And one of the heads of EA actually recently tweeted, the game was designed to be multiplayer, so each server has a giant basically globe, and each of those globes has how many thousands of cities, and are all eventually going to design to be tied together. So there's no way in their mind that they can actually make this offline. Make it just offline only. So they already screwed themselves on that. People started complaining that they couldn't play the game they paid $60 for. They would go on customer service, and then there's actually documented reports of people complaining to EA saying that, well, I can't play this game, so why am I paying you? So I want my money back. Give me a refund. The customer service reps started threatening those people, saying, if you do that, we ban your account for life. You're just to help your players.
Yeah, you want to see how many CSRs should get fired?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody pulled that crap at my company, I guarantee you they would not be working tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The minute a manager heard about it, they're gone.
I love that they tried to appease all these people by not only coming out on the official Twitter account and stating that we are not going to give refunds, but we are going to give you a free PC game for your trouble sometime in the future. We won't tell you what game it is, but we'll give you a free game. Doesn't work like that. Yeah, I mean, they just absolutely destroyed this game. A game I was looking forward to.
Give you an idea of how bad it is. I went into the chat queue for Origin, which is EA's thing, for something unrelated to SimCity. Just before the show, like 10, 15 minutes before the show launched, it told me my approximate wait time was between 25 and 30 minutes. That status message has not changed the entire time, the entire show. The chat window's still here saying your approximate wait time is between 25 and 30 minutes. So they are either beyond slammed or just ignoring everybody.
They're probably just ignoring everybody at this point. I will give, actually, of all these problems, I will give Amazon props. Because they
Amazon
listened.
did the smart thing.
Yeah, they listened to to all the players. It's also the digital download version of SimCity is on track to be the worst rated product of all time on their on their website.
Well, what's weird is that, I mean, again, you would think they would look at the experiences of groups like Blizzard and Valve, more Blizzard, because Blizzard, I mean, pretty much anytime an MMO launches, for example, and I realize that SimCity's technically, well, it is actually technically an MMO. It's massively multiplayer online. But anytime an MMO launches, with any MMO I've been part of, and I've played a grip ton of them, there's always problems on launch day. No matter what, whether it's an expansion or the fresh launch of the game. Champions Online, when it launched, Crash City for the first 3 days. Star Trek Online, Crash City first couple days.
Yeah.
SWOTOR. SWOTOR was smoother. SWOTOR only had problems for the first day, but boy did it have problems.
Oh yeah.
You know, every MMO that I've had things going. The only game I've ever played that did not have problems on launch day for me was StarCraft 2.
Okay.
Diablo 3 had major problems for, I think,
I remember reading about those.
I think they had serious issues for a week, and it was all centered around it was server capacity and the auction house, to the point where they didn't actually bring out the auction house until over a month into the game, because they were having so many last minute issues with it that they didn't anticipate. But Blizz will take that and learn from it, and they'll say, okay, we had this problem last time, how do we fix it?
Right.
The Pandaria launch was amazingly smooth. The day Pandaria launched, I was in game and I was doing stuff. That is the smoothest expansion launch I've ever had from Blizz.
And yet EA, they're like,
and EA just goes, oh, we're gonna do it our own way. Fuck it, we don't need those guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna chart our own course.
They're just gonna do their own thing. So.
Because EA spends too much time focusing on its big moneymaker.
Yep.
Madden, all their sports games, and don't they own COD?
Yeah, I think so. I think they distribute it via Activision or something like that.
Yeah, no,
no, they have Medal. I think they have Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought they had COD for some reason. No, so COD's Activision.
COD is Activision.
Right. So Activision can get its shit together. Blizz can get its shit together. Valve can get its shit together. Origin, wake up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get on some good news.
But let's move on to something fun.
Let's move on to
There's
Sega.
a new trailer. There's a new trailer.
Wait, what now?
Yes.
Trailer for what?
Number 39. The Merc with a Mouth has a new trailer.
Oh, yes. I forgot I had that in the listing right there.
You think I'm going to let you forget that? Hell no.
Yeah, okay. Good point. Very good point. All right. Yeah, let's show this. We've already talked about it so many times before. Deadpool has a game coming out this summer. It just looks so fun.
I so cannot wait for this game.
All right, let's go ahead and watch this trailer.
I want this guy. I love it. Best game ever. Deadpool's mom. Oh, I so want. I'm hoping the game lives up to the hype. I mean, I'm gonna get it regardless, just for the dialogue, if nothing else. But
yeah.
Oh God, I hope this game's good. I'm gonna be so let down if this game isn't.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, though. If it is good, that means we can probably get sequels. And
yes. Never been a bigger pain in the ass to work with. Marvel. Yeah.
Could be good.
If anyone here doesn't know who Deadpool is, you really need to look up Deadpool. Deadpool's awesome.
Yes, very much so. All right. Now that I actually have the list in front of me, let's talk about Sega. Because Sega's not the one that releases Deadpool. Although Sega should. It'd be awesome.
Actually, yeah. Well, no, because if Sega released Deadpool, then you'd end up with Ninja Gaiden. Or is that Namco?
No, that's Tecmo.
Tecmo. Never mind.
Anyways,
disregard that statement.
Yes, Sega has been far and beyond one of my favorite video game companies of all time. That was kind of sealed in stone the moment they released the Dreamcast. I still am one of the believers that the Dreamcast was one of the best consoles of all time.
Of its time, it was certainly the best out.
Oh yeah. But they always been releasing some pretty fun games for the otaku in the audience, but they were always in Japan. But given the fact that, at least for the PS3, because it has Blu-ray for its media, and Japan and the United States share the same region, you can actually import Japanese games and play it on your PS3.
In Japanese.
Yes, granted in Japanese, but you can find your way around. But it's also always cost ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah.
The cheapest I ever found a game to import, a new game from Japan was like $75 or something like that. And when they announced Project Diva F, which was the PS3 port of the PS Vita game, I was thinking that'd be really cool to have. And it's like $80 to import. Sega kind of teased this at E3. They had Project Diva playing on a PS Vita at their booth at E3 in 2012. And a lot of people are wondering, why is that there? Oh, we're just gauging interest. Yeah, right.
And the line, if I recall, was out of their booth and around it.
Mm-hmm. It was like to the side of like the main screen. But even they showed it on that screen, so it's like, wait a minute. Yes, gauging interest my ass. Until last Thursday, they released this image on their Facebook page.
For those who don't know what Project Diva is a rhythm game that uses Vocaloid characters and Vocaloid songs. It's extremely popular in Japan, and it's really popular among the import scene as well. I've got Project Diva 1 and 2 for the PSP.
Nice.
And they're really fun games. They're good rhythm games. The songs are catchy, and it's just really good. So this week, Sega on their official Facebook page puts up this pic, and they basically my guess is they've already started the conversion process, but they're trying to build hype, but they really want to see how much interest there is. So if you want a Sega port of the game, like it and share it, which is what I did because I want this game.
Yes. As of right now, there's almost over 20,000 people have liked it, almost 14,000 shares, and I agree. This is basically hype. They probably started working on it, which means that we can get this sooner.
Yeah,
and again, I have a PS3, so I can actually play this. I don't have a PS Vita yet, so
I don't have a Vita either. I'm contemplating getting one, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything yet that screams, I must have a Vita for this.
To me, there's been a couple, but that's just me. So
Diablo 3 is getting ready to hit PS.
That's true. I still haven't played D3 yet, so.
Oh, dude, you're missing a great game.
I know. So yeah, you guys, if you want to help with the hype and try to get this stateside faster, like and share this image. If you're looking for a link to it, you can find it not only on my Facebook page, but also on the official OtakuLife Facebook page.
You can also find it on my Facebook page.
It's all over the place.
DigitalPanther.facebook.com.
Or I think it's just Facebook.com/Sega. I think that's theirs.
That's right. It's. I'm sorry. I was thinking my DeviantArt. Sorry. It's Facebook.com/DigitalPanther.
All right. The last bit of news, kind of tying in with Japanese games, is the Tokyo Game Show. Always been a mecca for really, really cool stuff that, sadly, most of it we don't see stateside other than streams. Michael, you've had a chance to go to TGS one year, right?
No, I did not get to go, unfortunately.
That's right. You went to
I had to leave the week before it started.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
The past couple years, Tokyo Game Show, or TGS, have hosted official streaming pages, showcasing either just the floor of the convention,
some keynotes,
a couple of presentations, all that jazz. But they've always just been in Japanese, and then you have to wait for some website to translate it for you. For this year, that's going to change. This year, they're actually going to host another official streaming channel, but it's going to be in Japanese and in English. So I think it's going to be awesome. We actually get to get this stuff day and date.
Well, and that's good because there's been a tying in with this kind of. I mean, a lot of the best fighters come from Japan. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Hmm.
So you get the latest info on that. JRPGs, which is a severely underrated genre. I mean, for example, Kotaku had an article this week talking about JRPGs.
Hmm.
That seems like a lot of the Western developers are like, oh, people aren't interested in JRPGs. Yet, if you look at all of the indie games that are the top sellers on the indie games, most of them are JRPG style.
This is true.
If you look at the top downloads for PSP and PlayStation Network, the Final Fantasy series is in 6 of the top 10 slots. Now, admittedly, in the case of Final Fantasy, Squeenix did a sale, but that's not the point. I mean, okay, they did a sale that it's cheap, so that it was less expensive.
Hmm.
But that means that people wanted to play those old games because they loved them so much. So the idea of getting getting information from TGS in, for lack of a better term, real time is a great one because we'll be able to keep up with and see what's going on and have our finger, and it'll give us fodder for the show. So there you go.
This is true. I've always wanted
I am not afraid to borrow info from their live stream.
Hey, I'm perfectly fine with that. I've always wanted to go to Tokyo Game Show for a number of reasons. One of which being it always usually lands on or around my birthday, which is September 20th, and this year's TGS is September 19th through the 22nd. So,
Why did I think it was in November?
oh well. So, what am I gonna do for my birthday? Sit here on my computer and watch a stream from Tokyo.
Unless we get lucky and get lots of money, and then we we make a trip to you, me, Nikki, hop on a plane and go to TGS.
Hey, I wouldn't mind going to Japan again. It'd be awesome.
And just do it to cover the TGS. Yeah, that's our excuse.
It works perfect. Yes.
Yeah, we'll bring cameras. Yeah. Send your money to, hey, I need the bleeping money, P.O. Box.
All right. Well, as we always end each episode, Michael, what have you been watching?
Surprisingly little lately. I'm caught up, at least as of, I think a new episode posted yesterday, but I'm caught up on Robotics Notes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Are you current with it?
I am. I'm not.
Holy crap, they went left field. Oh my God. I'm watching that and going, what the hell is this? I mean, I thought they did weird crap in Steins Gate. Oh no. So there's that. I'm current on Psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see where they go with this.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you.
It's another one that, even though I hate most of their character designs, the writing for this show is fantastic. I finished season 1 of Game of Thrones. I haven't started season 2 yet. Actually, that's not true. I'm sorry. I'm 2 episodes into season 2.
And you're saying this with your fiance within 5 feet of striking distance.
Well, she finally finished the book.
Ah, okay.
So now that she's finished book 1, I can get her to go watch the Blu-ray with me. I wouldn't mind sitting through it again. It's a great series.
Okay.
Let's see, what else have I been watching of late?
You should have watched K-On! Season 2 by now.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I haven't even touched those discs. I should, but I haven't. Other than that, that's all I've been watching. I've been hella busy on with work. I mean, work's been insane this week.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I get to help train a new guy, so that'll be fun.
For me, I've caught up on a couple things on Crunchyroll. Problem Children I've caught up on. I watched the latest episode of Sakura So. Oh, the feels. Oh, the feels.
Oh, are they tugging at heartstrings again?
Oh, they tug at it so hard in the latest episode.
Oh God! All right.
It was just like, I remember sitting there watching it afterwards. I'm like, what the hell?
I hate when they do that in series, especially a series I like.
Especially in series that I can't marathon. Because if it was a series I have on DVD or Blu-ray, I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks. What happens?" Hit next chapter and go to the next episode.
Yeah, you're
But
waiting
now I
for
have
it
to-
as it comes out.
Yeah, but now I have to wait a week, and it's like, oh, it's annoying. But as I've talked about before on previous episodes, about 3 weeks ago, I kind of went on a little bit of a spending spree. Didn't spend nearly as much as I thought, but I actually got a decent amount of DVDs and Blu-rays and some manga and whatnot. And it's slowly but surely been coming in. One of the last things that I purchased that finally came in was Heaven's Memo Pad. This is a series that I became interested in solely by watching AMVs. It's one of those that the AMVs were so good, it got me interested in the series.
Which means they did their job.
Yes, they did. Yeah, the premise behind it's based on a bunch of popular light novels from 2011. It's all about a bunch of NEETs. Basically, not employed, being educated, or in training is what NEET stands for. And a bunch of these NEETs get together, team up with this little girl who apparently is a hacker genius and has a bedroom command center layout that I envy so freaking much. And using her talents and their contacts all around the city and whatnot, they go around and solving cases. But they enter this one boy who seems to be a normal boy, doesn't really stand out, actually has a job and whatnot. He gets kind of dragged in with them, and then he starts bringing his emotional toll into the group, and it starts making an interesting element with all the action. The story's pretty good so far. When there's action, it's great. I gotta say, this is actually a pretty decent series. It's only 12 episodes long, but one thing I like about it is that they call it double episode length. So each episode is like an OVA. It's 50 minutes long.
So it's an hour series.
Exactly. So good. I'm so glad they put stuff in there. One of the other reasons why it looks so good, I would say, is because of the production company behind it. It's JC Staff. They're known for their quality.
Yeah.
And this JC
stuff is good stuff.
This one has kind of flown under the radar stateside.
Okay.
Sentai picked it up, threw it on Blu-ray. It even has an English dub. It actually has a pretty decent cast involved as well. Kind of like some of the old school voice actors and actresses are in this. Like, the main character Alice is actually voiced by Hilary Hagg. I haven't heard her in ages, and she does a pretty decent job. Greg Eyer's in it. Brittany Karbowski's in this. Mike Yeager. There's actually some decent, voice acting on the English side. Granted, I'm still watching in Japanese, but the episodes I watched in English were actually pretty good. I was surprised. So that's what I've been watching.
Cool.
I had the last
I'll
4
have to
episodes.
borrow it from you.
Yeah, I had the last 4 episodes to watch, which I'll probably watch tonight. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's Heaven's Memo Pad. You can get it online. I think Amazon has it for under $40. So
Did I tell you that I watched Forward Unto Dawn?
yes, you did.
Okay. You need to come up and watch Forward Unto Dawn. It's
I
good.
need to finish watching. I've only seen the first 15, 20 minutes of it. So
I've got the whole thing
yeah, you bought the Blu-ray.
on Blu-ray.
All 90 minutes of it.
That's actually really good. And oh my God, Master Chief is tall.
He's supposed to be. You've read the books.
No, actually, I haven't read the books.
Really?
But I played the
been,
games.
It's only been Nikki that read the books?
Yeah, Nikki's the one who read all the books. But, wow.
On a side note, have you beat Halo 4 yet?
Nope.
Get on it, man.
I need, dude, what time?
2 o'clock in the morning. You don't need to sleep. I'll get on with you.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I apologize for this.
All right, fine. Okay, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this extended episode of From Mother's Basement. We've been doing that a lot lately, but I think it's fine doing that, don't you?
As long as we don't go over my meetings, we're good.
Yeah, very true. All right, everybody, stay tuned for a short post show. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, for Farmer Mother's Basement, I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we will see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.